One's a former NFL star turned esports coach.
But I was getting the stink eye from my wife. She's like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing."
And one's a dad who can't stop playing Rocket League.
These kids these days, they're like, blah, 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 blah. We're used to jump and run.
Together, they welcome you to Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge.
Welcome to Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge. I'm your host, Ahman Green, along with my good friend and teammate, John Adias. Man, John, how you doing?
What's going on, Ahman? How are you?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Just finally, I'll say a little bit jet lag because I was traveling for about almost 2 weeks, but to some fun places. A lot of fun work. It was first to Pro Bowl down in Orlando, Florida, and then it was off to Las Vegas. So I came back to Lincoln for a quick nap, and got back on the plane, headed down out to Vegas for part of Super Bowl. Not really didn't see the game in person, watched it on TV just like everyone else with a whole bunch of Packer fans. But at Pro Bowl, did a fun event called the HBCU Madden Championship Series or Championships with EA down at one of the EA studios in Orlando, Florida, and with Rally Cry, met some great people, two Adams, and a Martin, and a Tiffany Green, who was my co-host. I was play-by-play, and then we had a Madden Pro player by the name of Kevin Johnson Jr. He goes by the King, so D.A. King, and he's a two-time Madden Championship MCS Series champion. So, and of course, I got his number so I could get some tips and some help my Madden game out. It's been struggling. How good? Last couple.
Did you get to watch him play?
We played each other and he destroyed me. So
what was the score? What was the score?
It was bad. It was like 40,
you don't even want to say the score.
It was like 50-something to 7. It wasn't good. It was bad. He's a pro. That's what he does. That's his job. He showed me this app called 1v1 Me, where you could sit on the app between Madden, 2K, and maybe fighting games. You can set up your own bets where you can play against people.
Yo, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's called 1v1 Me. So any 1v1, I'm assuming 1v1 games. So Madden, 2K, Rocket League is 1v1. It's tough though playing 1v1. And
wait, so he goes on there and he like challenges people? Does he have to say like, hey, I'm really good?
No, he could just play them and get paid when he wins. And
so like the best is this the equivalent to LeBron James being able to challenge people to basketball on an app, and then they find out LeBron James shows up and crushes them?
Yeah, and then on top of that, he has to stream his games. So people are on his stream as they're playing a Madden Pro. And they may know, they may not know. So
that's cool.
Quick. Yeah, so it's cool. So that's what I've been up to. That's some of it. I'm just saying that I had to get that was like on my frontal lobe. Let me get that out real quick. But also, welcome into Gamer Lounge. So if you're the first time in here to visit, we're on a lot of platforms. We're on 6. We're on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch, X, and Instagram all right now. So anybody watching, you could chime into the chat, ask us questions, participate. What's up, A-Train, man? How you doing? Eeyore was good, and Eeyore is correct. And it's on the screen here, right at the bottom. Happy Valentine's Day, John and crew and chat. So we are a show that we talk about a little bit of everything in the video game world and the video game culture. We have a couple nice little segments coming up here. Quick hidden news bites to give you the read of the day of what's going on in the video game industry or movies, anime, what have you. Like I said, culture around video games. And then we get into what's after that. Then we get into the new segment that we started right at the end of the 2023 year is the best thing I saw on social media. So some funny clips of something going on, or very cool, or interesting, or heartfelt, or just interesting, to say the least. That, and then game releases of the week. Of course, games are dropping every week, except for like 1 or 2 weeks out of the year. I think one of them's back in December because it's Christmas time. So I guess the video game companies eventually take a day off. And then we follow up the show and wrap the show with our What's on Stream, and we're wrapping up. We have one episode left now, but we'll be talking about episode 5 of Loki season 2, science/fiction episode, where it's pure chaos going on right now for Loki and the TVA and all the people in the TVA. If you've been following along here on the podcast, what's up, JFK? Good morning and happy Valentine's Day. It's not really early for you. It's 9 a.m. because I think JFK is on the East Coast, but for everybody else in the Midwest, it's 8 a.m. And then I say to any sweet soul that is up on the West Coast, up watching us at 6 a.m., I appreciate you. And if you are, let's set up a day when I come out on the West Coast and take you out to dinner. Because if you're up at 6 a.m. right now watching the Gamers On podcast, you are a G. Appreciate
well, we know who's not up at 6 a.m. right now doing the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Rico.
Who's in Vegas.
He's in Vegas.
The Supernovas volleyball team, Pro Volleyball Federation. And I don't blame him. 6 a.m. is an early wake-up call.
That is. I had a couple, like we talked about last week, doing our show while I was in Vegas. And I'm like, man, that's early for me. And then my other show with Dorsey and Gilbert, the Green and Gold G Lounge, that was even earlier. So I would have been I had to be up at, I think, 5 a.m. for that. I was like, even though I didn't party hard in Vegas, it was in and out. One of my daughters came, my oldest, Amani. She hung out, was able to take pictures of some of the events, cool events that I went to and did. One was the Dr. Jen Welter's A Day in the Life women's football camp, and it was awesome. So we had like young ladies, some of the ladies my age actually. But they are football enthusiasts, so they learned a little bit more about the game they love to play and watch. And some of them do play professionally. They had some professional women, football players, wide receiver, quarterbacks, running backs, D-line. So it was pretty cool to see them, because I know in Las Vegas area they have a pro women's league or semi-pro women's league out there in Vegas and on the West Coast as well. So to see those young ladies and women out there, strutting their stuff, having fun, but also learning the game for myself. Chris Draft, that was a linebacker for the Atlanta Falcons, and a few other teams. He was there, and a few other. One of my old teammates I didn't know was showing up until the last minute. Ricky Waters, he popped in the building, was helping me coach the running backs drill. So I say that's fun. I love coaching. If it's video game, if it's football, might as well. And get a chance to show and teach anybody, how to hold on to the ball, how to get their knees up, running through bags and all that. So that was that. And then what else? And then I was watching from distance, keeping track of my Nebraska men's and women's and men basketball. They've been upsetting some teams. I know the men's a couple of weeks ago upset Purdue, and they were ranked number 1. And then just recently, the ladies beat the Iowa Hawkeye ladies, Caitlin Clark and squad in tow, and a really good team there in terms of Iowa Hawkeyes, but came away with the victory, a home win for us here in Lincoln, Nebraska. So I'm like, sweet. I said, we're having a good stretch at it. What about yourself, John? What's up with you, man?
Well, congratulations to Nebraska. Iowa was ranked number 4 at the time when they lost. And I just looked at the box score, and the Hawkeyes had 30 points in the third quarter and then followed that up with just 10. So they really clamped down in the final quarter.
Yeah, that was defense right there.
Yeah, that's what that is. But no, I had a fun time this weekend as well. It was my daughter's golden birthday. So shout out to my daughter. Yeah, she wanted to go bowling on her birthday, which we did. And then we went and watched the Super Bowl, and we got to watch Taylor Swift and the Chiefs. And she tried to stay up for the end of it, but goes a little long in overtime. She didn't quite make it.
Yeah.
But the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl, right?
Yes,
it was a fun game. It was tight. It was close. I love it. Commercials were fine. I'm trying to think of which commercial stood out the most to you. Do you remember one that kind of stood out to you?
I would say the Deadpool commercial. I like that one. Any movie commercial I like. It was Deadpool, and it was another comic book one. It was either Marvel. I think it might have been Marvel, another Marvel one. Can't remember, but I know it was Deadpool. That one I do remember.
Yeah, they had Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? And State Farm.
The State Farm commercial, yes.
You know what I did not like? The Dunkin' Donuts. The Dunkin' Donuts one with
Ben Affleck
and Matt Damon.
And everybody else. Everybody else in Hollywood that are A-listers. Why not? Why you didn't like it?
It just seemed So sometimes I feel I started rubbing my eyes. Sometimes I feel like commercials, like some are really thought out well and they're funny and they're great. And some are just like, hey, what if we just did this? And then they wore that. And then we did that. Wouldn't that be awesome? And then we threw in celebrities. Wouldn't that be funny? And some of them to me they're just like doing things. You know what I mean? They're just like
doing random things.
They're just doing random things with celebrities. And that to me, that's what that was to me. It was just like, oh, so it's just some like random weird thing that celebrities
because they can do it.
Doing, I don't know. Okay, that one I did like.
Yeah, because I believe Ben Affleck and Matt Damon own a studio together or produce movies together or something. So yeah, I kind of hear you on that because it was like very odd, but it was quirky, a little funny. But to your point, I agree with that. And yeah, so Eeyore said Madam Web. Yeah, I think that was it, Madam Web, with Don Johnson's daughter that was in 50 Shades of Black. She's Madam Web, so it's a new. I don't think I've heard of. I think I have heard of Madam Web from my good friend Dave Powers, who was on the podcast years ago. Probably we need to get him back on here. And so I kind of remember Madam Web. So she's like a time traveling or prognosticating superhero. So she can predict when something's about to happen bad to you or something in general, basically. So she's part of the Spider-Verse. I'll say that much.
That looks good.
Yeah, it looks good. I saw a couple previews before that. And then obviously today, we talking about movies. Bob Marley movie, One Love, is out. So but that is going to crush. It has to not crush, but it should be. I want to see the box office sales for that because it's Valentine's Day. It's called One Love. We knew everybody listens to his music. Everybody listens to Bob Marley. It's a home run. I'm gonna go see it this weekend. This is like I said, this is my birthday weekend. We just talked about that. This Friday is my birthday, so I'm that's on my list to go see if I can squeeze it in with all the other movies that I want to see at the movie theater.
Well, we were talking before the podcast, and you said that you saw the Marvels finally. And
yes,
two things about that. Number one, I think it's funny that nowadays you probably watch it like on a tablet.
Yeah, I watched it. Actually, I could have, but I watched it on an airplane.
Usually, back in the day, we'd watch it either on our big screen TV on the Blu-ray or DVD, or you'd have to go to the movie. Now we're just like, hey, I'm just watching the movie on a little tiny screen. Anyway, I thought that's weird, but everybody does it. I'm not saying I don't do it, but and that got some mixed reviews, but you liked it.
No, yeah, it was. I remember when it was in theaters, a lot of mixed reviews and a lot of unhappy people watching that movie, but I loved it, and I'm my own person. So I'm glad I didn't it was just the fact that I couldn't get to the theater with family and stuff, and things were popping up. So I couldn't get to the theater to see it because that was a movie that's on my list. Those are the type of movies you see in the movie theater to get the full experience of sound, graphics, and special effects. And you can see everything on the big screen. So that's the only thing I didn't get to do. But regardless, it was still a great movie. Having all three Marvels together, and then obviously them battling, fighting, getting them into a montage of team building and stuff like that. They did that. And then obviously after credit scene of that movie this kind of opens another door. It's nice. I think I know Eeyore can answer this question for me with the phases for Marvel and the cinematic universe from Endgame to Infinity War. This is like phase. I think this is start of or in the middle of phase 6 or 5 or 7 or somewhere in between 5 and 7 phases of where they're taking all the movies. You could probably look it up real quick. That's what I could tell. That's what you're doing, John. So that went on too. So seeing that was like, oh man, this is like I thought. Good movie. I could call movies, and it's easy, but it's easy because it's Marvel right now. They're hitting it pretty much out the park. They're beating my favorite franchise up of DC. Because I'm a DC fan first. So, but I'm both because I'm a comic book guy. So just hoping DC can bounce back. Phase 5, or thank you. Yep. Phase 5. I knew it was like between 5 and 7. I knew that much.
Phase 6.
I just hadn't looked it up yet.
Phase 6 starts in 2025 through 2028. Phase 7, 29 through 30.
That's amazing.
And phase 8, 31 through 33.
We're almost talking about 30 years of movies they didn't plan out. This started in 2007.
Yeah. Phase 1, 08 is what they said.
Oh wait, okay.
Is what it
Oh
says
wait,
here.
I was gonna say too. Like Iron Man was the first one, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Iron Man was the first film, and they're still talking like 2030, like you just said, 2030. Like, oh my god,
33. Yeah.
that means a lot of people have a lot of jobs that go, a lot of work coming at them, making a lot of good money.
It's
So
25 years of
I'm not
planning. How does
right. I
that's
don't know.
crazy.
That's amazing. That's the way you do it though. When you have the funds to do it, that's the way you do it. You plan it out. You make things. You make ends meet.
When did the phases come out though? Like it's not like they made Iron Man and said we're doing this till 33, and people are like, what are you
they
talking
announced
about?
the phases after right around Infinity War Endgame. That's when the phase conversation started. Saying because I was at Comic-Con 2019, that's kind of when Infinity Endgame and Infinity War came out, was around that time, and that's when I first saw it on the stage. Kevin Feige announcing this is phase 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 7 and going up there. Also, that was at Comic-Con or any comic book event. So Comic-Con San Diego 2019, 2018 is kind of when the phase conversation was referenced by Kevin Feige on the stage there at Hall H at Comic-Con San Diego. So
you even know the hall. So what happens after 33?
Good question.
Is it done? Or Marvel?
It can't be done. No, I don't think it's done. I think they will obviously create, if they haven't already. I mean, you got to think about it. Comic books been around since the 40s or the 30s.
Yeah.
Marvel books has been around that long. And Stan Lee and his crew of writers and artists and inkers, and they're always dabbling something, right? And they already create new characters that they never get released, or new storylines that never get brought up. It just get put in a shelf somewhere or saved in a file on a computer. Eventually, by that time, they'll go to those files, be like, all right, we're at the end of this thing. We need more ideas to keep it going. What are we going to do? And so, so they'll have a backlog of stuff to reference from, because it's really all it is. Writing a story is finding that one idea that sparks it. Finding that one idea. And when you have 20 or 30 showrunners, writers on staff, you could find one idea with like 50 people in the room. If you can't find one idea with 50 people in a room, there's a problem. There's no creativity in the room. That's not good. So, especially comic book. It's a comic book, so you can have fun with it. Really go and push the limits of obviously imagination there. So we got ER says, I'm playing Paul World while I watch. So he is multitasking. And they usually say men are not good at it. So I think he's doing a pretty good job, playing Paul World and listening to the Gamers Lounge. So get off to our one of our sponsors here, Read Here, Slide. Thank you. Drink on the Slide. So play is an essential part of life, whether digital or outdoors. Exploring your world is fun. So I hope you're exploring that world, ER, and having a good time in Paul World. So keep the good times rolling and support your play with the Slide Boost. That means to get you up and moving. Chill right after the game when you want to relax. You can do that, and dream. When you're really done playing, you go to sleep and get a lot of it. Get 8 hours. Please get 8 hours, and then explore your imagination. So there you go. All right. So let's get over into our first hot segment of the day here. We got a lot of good stuff here. We got quick hidden news bites, right? And we got some good stuff, interesting stuff here. So let me get on to that. No, let me get this first. Let me do this. Boom. Do that. Boom. And then click here, do that, and then all right, quick hidden news by here. So John, you are up first. And what is going on with one of my favorite cartoons growing up as a kid, bro?
I was just gonna start there. When I was a kid, He-Man. I never called it Masters of the Universe. We called it.
I called it He-Man. It was He-Man.
Yeah. It was He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. 100%. And then they made that really crappy movie in the 90s or whenever.
Dolph Lundgren.
I never even saw it. And I did
not hate Dolph Lundgren for that movie. Everybody did, I think, but I did not.
And then they changed it to like Masters. I know it's always been Masters of the Universe. Anyway, here's my point. I loved He-Man. I love Masters of the Universe. You go back to my house in southern Minnesota, you're gonna find, dozens and dozens of these little toys. And I've got Castle Grayskull, Snake Mountain. I've got the vehicles. When I go back home and my daughter, we play He-Man. Like she loves playing with the He-Man characters, the toys.
Awesome.
I'm like, she's like,
Good
get
parenting.
Grayskull out, get it out. We're playing. I'm like,
Oh, she's
I'm
calling
in.
it by the first name. Oh,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
She's going hard in the paint.
So when I saw this story about Masters of the Universe, and this is from Gizmodo, the Masters of the Universe movie is back on, comma, again.
Thank you. Yes. Yes.
And so when you look at the storyline, basically they're going to make a new movie, right?
Yeah.
Based on the Mattel franchise. And it's in development with Travis Knight, known for directing Bumblebee.
Oh,
okay.
The latest one that was like in the 80s, like 1984 or something like that.
Potentially directing. Wait, isn't Bumblebee like the Transformers?
Yeah, it was the prequel before.
Oh,
so it's Bumblebee when he fell to Earth, or a new storyline when he fell to Earth.
Gotcha.
The rest of the big guys came.
Yeah. So then they've got Chris Butler set to rewrite the screenplay, blah blah blah. And but here's the part at the end that kind of got me. I was like, wait, what?
What's that?
So $30 million has been spent in development costs since 2007.
What?
In prior attempts to make the movie. The project Ahman has been in development since 2007 with $30 million spent trying to be like, how are we going to make this movie? And when I read that, I thought, why has this been for almost 20 years that people are like, how are we going to make this movie? That to me just shows like the utter, what's the word I'm looking for? Like when you have something that isn't working, like in government, like it just gets bogged down, like nothing works. That's the same thing happening here. There is no, what is the structure of making movies? How can you go almost 20 years and not be able to figure out, hey, how are we going to do this movie? That to me is insane. Make the fucking movie already. Like, what are you doing?
God is not happy right now, people.
Like, they are missing out. They've wasted from 2007 to 2023 and beyond until this thing gets done.
Almost 20 years.
And there's a whole generation. We just talked about how much we loved it. There's a whole generation of fans of this specific toy / universe that they haven't. That's a slap in the face. Like, what are they? You wasted so much time. Right. You've wasted so much. I'm sorry, I'm getting upset about Masters of the Universe.
You going hard.
It was obviously a big deal to me as a kid.
It was. I love the passion,
if they had said it's been like since 2019 and we've spent $30 million trying to figure, I've been like, okay, figure it out, guys. Let's get the ball rolling. 2007. Somebody's like, hey, we should do this, and no one knows how to figure this out. You and I could have sat down and written a script. Like, what are they doing? What's anyone doing?
Not much.
They just drinking coffee and like playing with He-Man toys?
It might be. It might be distracted. ER says the anime cartoons that have been made from 2007 till now make the studios either go green light or red light. Yeah.
I didn't mind some of those newer ones.
Yeah, I know, because One Piece been around for around that time, and they just got two of their live action movie, or no, one live action and then another cartoon movie.
Well, even the She-Ra stuff on Netflix was pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
I like that. I didn't mind.
I like that. I like She-Ra. That was his sister or cousin or something.
I think it was his sister.
It was sister, right? But it's so many reasons that a movie. We're just talking about, Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you do it right, then boom, it just goes. But when you don't do it right, it just takes. It's a lot of people at the top, right, to make decisions. It's the politics of whatever, or it's just money, obviously. But they had a lot of money. They went through 30 million of it.
Doing what and got nothing?
Right.
Imagine spending $30 million and getting nothing.
Because 30 million obviously is not a full budget. Because 30 million just plays. If you get one A-list actor, that's their money right there. That's Will Smith. That's Tom Cruise. That's who else? Adam Sandler. Any of the Marvel actors that are in the Marvel movies currently. Like if you use somebody from that roster of people, use David Bautista or somebody like that to be in Masters of the Universe, or The Rock, for example. That's 30 million right there. So 30 million is not even a whole movie budget. That's just to keep things in perspective there. So that means they got to put in a lot more money to really get the movie shot and done.
Well, I hope they do it the right way, number one, and I hope they make it compelling and entertaining. But then you start thinking about who plays He-Man. Like, you got to be strong.
100%. You gotta be
then
yoked.
You gotta be yoked, and you gotta be
and not
good.
digitally
Otherwise,
yoked.
right. And you gotta be like a good actor. Otherwise, you're probably gonna suck, right? Like just some big meathead that can't act.
Yeah, you
But-
gotta have some range. Yes, you gotta have some range.
How about this? John Cena?
He's been like between him and The Rock and David Batista. That's where I would throw my my coins, my 5 cents in to say, hey, you want 3 guys to be in the movie and not. You just gotta find out who's going to be He-Man, but then Man of Arms, Beastmaster, and a few other, and then obviously what's in there? Yeah, Skeletor. That's what I was trying to think of. And then Battle Cat, that's going to be digital. I think Battle Cat's going to be digital. They won't put a real live tiger through the dyeing of the green hair and white stripes. Please don't do that to a tiger. Just do it digitally. Whoever,
that's what's going to make this cool. All the digital stuff, like
right.
I have the power, like it's going to be awesome.
The lightning bolt coming down, changing Princess, what's his name? Prince Adam.
Prince Adam, yeah.
Prince Adam to He-Man. That lightning bolt. That's going to be obviously digital, but yeah, the particular pick for that, it'd be interesting. I mean, they got to find. I say John Cena. Yeah, I say he has the look. He would have the look for that. I wouldn't mind. I would not be mad if John Cena got He-Man, and whenever this movie, I guess, got greenlit, right? When it gets greenlighted,
who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll be talking in 5 years about how it's they're set to finally do something. Who knows? Maybe 20.
True. When we're gonna be sitting in Florida somewhere, neighbors, and we're like, oh, that Master of the Universe movie came out, John. Want to go see it?
Just came out. I'm on. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna send it to you, and I'm gonna like blink my eyes, and it's gonna go into your brain.
Walking up, there we go.
Come on. Did you see this?
Hey, let's get the Ben Gay and the icy hot on the limbs, and let's get moving to the theater. Oh man, just thinking about when we're old, when we're already old. That's funny. All right, my turn. We got report. Xbox says that the boss. I like that they put the boss of Xbox says there's no plans to exit the console market. And I'm like, hold up, time out.
Thank you. Thank you for going here.
Wait a minute, time out. It's the conversations that y'all gonna stop making consoles. Why? That's like, let me see. You gave it a great analogy with what you said with LeBron or somebody earlier.
Oh yeah, like with that 1v1 app. Yeah,
the app we're talking about. Man, this is like, where can I start? It's so many different metaphors I can wrap up with this. This is basically like any company that makes something that's very popular.
Yeah, let's
say Pepsi, Marvel, Disney. Oh, we're just gonna stop making soda. I'm like, come on. I'm like, all right. So what is the? But it's obviously there is a reason behind that because of they're secured licenses. They bought other companies like Bethesda in the last few years, and they have very popular games: Starfield, Halo, Gears of War, and so they have a lot of good franchises that they already have under their moniker. So here in the article, it reports that Phil Spencer told employees that Microsoft had no plans of selling the console business, exiting the console business, but this comes during a large online firestorm. So here we go. So it must have been like a rumor or something going on around Xbox and its future, following rumors that some big exclusives might land on PlayStation 5. So there it is. Okay. When I first read the title, I'm like, wait a minute. But then now it's because the rumors, titles.
Yeah. Okay.
From the titles of their big game. Sorry. From there, I'll let you go in a sec. So basically came in from their start of their rumors of their big titles that they already put out, from Gears of War, from Halo, from Starfield, all Xbox production games there. So there you go, John.
No, I was just going to say, so it sounds like the rumors were like, hey, all these big titles are going over here. Why are we even going to make an Xbox anymore?
Correct. And I say that's how rumors start, right? People start talking. It probably started as a game title thing, not even, but it's like, wait a minute, you're not going to have these game titles. So why have, like you said, why have a console? And I think that's where the conversation went. here. But it says over February 3rd weekend, reports and rumors began to circulate that Xbox was planning, or at least talking about, bringing some of its big exclusives to PlayStation. So expand. I mean, as a company, you want to do that, right? Expand your reach. Obviously, now you're going with your competitor here and saying, hey, can we be friends? Can we be closer friends? And we have exclusive titles that we made. Y'all have exclusive titles y'all made. Can we share? So it's basically, can they share type of conversation. You learn how to share when you're in kindergarten. So that's going to be interesting if Sony's going to say, yeah, we're going to share. That's the only thing there. So this included Bethesda's latest RPG, Starfield, third person, and first person shooter, Gears of War, one of my favorite storylines there, Gears of War. And third, I'm playing Starfield too now, getting more into that. So passionate Xbox fans initially dismissed the reports, because that's what I said. I was like, hold up, what are you, until I read the article, like, what are you doing? You're going to really stop getting out the business of selling what made you the company you are today? But they're not. So they said, but as more folks corroborated with the information, even Xbox insiders began to believe. They led to a lot of panic and yelling online from diehard Xbox fans, console warriors, and influencers. Since then, a general sense of what is happening at Xbox has formed online. So even a friendly and conscious GameStop promo image set off a whole bunch of people, and now it seems that unlikely scenario that Xbox would stop making consoles has been ruled out of the head exec's brand. So one or two things here. What I know, and I mentioned this before with Zack Snyder and the way movies can be produced or leaked. And he said sometimes we kind of do it on purpose just to see what the crowd, what the consumer thinks. So Phil Spencer here kind of touching the water, kind of puts it out there a little bit. We might, we have some titles. Let's try to see if we'll share, and put it out there. And he saw the flash. He got the answer real quick. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like I said, when I read this line, I'm like, hold up, time out. Did I just read what I thought they're thinking? So he tested the waters, right? He did a research and development, and he found out real quick, don't get out of the business right now. That means we good for selling consoles at Microsoft Xbox.
I mean,
he got his answer.
If you tell your employees in a meeting, internal town hall meeting, like this article says, addressing the rumors and saying that you're going to continue making consoles, you better continue making consoles, right? You don't go into your town hall meeting and then lie to it. Well, maybe you do. I don't know.
Right.
But it seems like maybe they're getting more in that sharing business, like you were saying.
Yeah, and the ER story. And the ER is very, knowledgeable in this space. So he says they want to put Hi-Fi Rush and Starfield on PlayStation 5, because Starfield, being a lot of gamers like big RPGs like Starfield is, I would say why not? Because obviously more people on PlayStation that want to do and play Starfield are waiting there on PlayStation, but some people don't do that, right? They don't, once they buy a PlayStation, obviously that's a big investment. That's like $500 and change. A couple controllers, but then another game is to get Starfield on there. If they're not playing something else like Baldur's Gate is already on there, you're talking about another $70. So, so that's where the fans, got in a little uproar there, which I don't blame. Like I said, I kind of was like, wait a minute, but let me read the article before I jump ship here. So, and then ER also adds here, Microsoft is the only American console maker. That's true. That's true. Interesting.
Well, I'm glad your reaction was the same. Like, wait, hold up. Because when I saw that, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, wait, what? Why? What? Really?
I'm like, yeah.
Weird.
So kind of just testing the waters.
Yeah.
And they found out real fast. I believe, obviously, one thing about the video game space, and this is kind of where we all exist. We were just talking comic books. We were just talking movies. This culture of fans will let you know right away. Don't you do that. Don't you change E-Man. Don't you touch any character in the comic book universe unless we say so. Unless the audience says, okay, you could change Batman now, or you could change Spider-Man now. If you touch any of those likenesses, there's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And this is one likeness that Phil Spencer kind of tested in a way. I would love to, obviously get him on this show one day and say, Hey, what was your idea there? What was you going for? Because obviously we're just going off on our opinions and what ifs. What if?
And what is being reported? Like
exactly.
Like what? I don't know.
So,
who knows? True.
What was he really thinking? That's what I want to ask him. Phil, what was you really thinking, bro? I just want to know. Xbox going away, a world without Xbox. Let's ponder that for a minute. What if? So we're bringing in our what if mind right here. What if Xbox was not here anymore?
They'd still make games. Like they could still sell their titles.
Microsoft could still make video games. There you go.
Yeah.
There it is. All right. Alrighty there. Interesting topic. And that one we could debate that keep going all the way down the line there. All right, now let's head over to the best thing on social media.
You're so dumb.
Got him. Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right. We got some fun stuff here. All right, John, we would have had fun growing up together. I like your style of things.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
okay.
I like the stuff you go because I had RC cars too.
Oh, yeah. So I saw this Instagram account. I can't read.
Hold up. I did not see that part. Oh, wow. That thing and it doesn't break. That's awesome.
I'm just gonna mute it because it's kind of loud. But what can you read that? I don't even know what the name of the Instagram account is. I should know.
It's Kamikaze.
Kamikaze underscore RC.
Yep, underscore RC. Yeah, Kamikaze underscore RC. I don't have no audio. Do you have audio?
I muted it just because it's like
it was loud. Oh, it was loud. I don't hear nothing. Oh, yeah, I muted it. I mute mine. So I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So yeah, I saw this Instagram account. Look how awesome this car is. Look how fun this looks.
That thing is rolling. Let me see.
It just jumps off fences and trees and does backflips. Like, I'm insane. Like, I would have loved this at 12 years old. Like this got to be some sort of custom RC car, doesn't it?
They don't make RC cars that durable.
Right. Yeah. I remember back in the day, Ahman, I got mine at Radio Shack. I had a little a little RC car, and it had nice shocks and a really big battery, and it was fast.
Right.
Oh my God, that's the most fun flipping thing. Make little tracks around, backyard. It was so flipping fun. And when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, this looks so much fun.
And that's why we're friends right now. I was all over. I had a blue one, Doom Buggy, and once I got it for Christmas, I was jumping it off the curb. I was jumping the staircases. I actually went too high and cracked the body of or the face interior or exterior of it. And after that, I was like, okay, I can't jump off of the top step. I gotta bring it down a step here. But yeah,
but there's a difference between like even and I haven't had an RC car in 30 years, but there is always a difference between like the kind of cheaper, affordable ones.
Yes.
And then you go buy, you
put one together like I've seen people do.
Oh,
and
really?
Those are the hardcore durable ones, like this one here, bouncing off trees 20 feet in the air and landing on the ground, landing on his feet like a cat. And that one just flipped and switched to flip. You see that?
Yeah. It pauses midair and goes the other way.
Oh, heck no. And it's I can't even know what they call that last one where it's on its two front wheels.
Like this thing
walking on his hands.
Yeah, look at this thing. This thing's awesome. But yeah, and then there were like those cars like from Radio Shack that were like $200-$300. Luckily, I don't know how I got one, but I did. And man, those things, there's a big difference back in the day between that and something. And they go so fast and they've got shocks and it's so fun.
Yeah, and here you go. He said, I had a good one when I was a kid, and a friend drove it into the park truck tire and bust my whole front end. And because it was a 4-wheel drive, I couldn't fix it. Oh, I would have been. I'm sorry. Me and my friend would have gotten a little fight. I'm like, bro, you just broke my RC. What's wrong with you, man? You jealous or something? What's up with you? I got you in trouble. Was marks on mine. Oh yeah. Yeah, I couldn't break it. It got, like I said, mine's got cracked the front fender, and I slowed myself down. I was like, all right, I can't go off the top.
Can I share my screen really, really quick?
Yeah, please do. What you got?
This is what I had. This was the one back in the day.
Nice.
The golden arrow, man.
Mine was similar. It wasn't called the golden arrow, but mine was blue.
Blue.
I had a blue dune buggy just like that. Got the nice nubbies on the back wheels where you get that traction. That thing is still going for 278, 279, excuse me.
That's what they're asking.
I
still have mine.
They're bringing it. There you go.
It's cool.
Wow. Interesting. Awesome. But yeah, RC cars, we used to race them too. A few of my friends that had them in my neighborhood, we would get on them, get on the sidewalk and try to see who had the best, who had the fastest one. All were store-bought and pre-assembled. Wasn't no modified one like this one here that we just showed on the screen. That was like, that's baller though. That's straight baller though.
Notorious Afro says that thing looks like if you touch it, it'll break. This company's made so much money off a 24-hour toy. That one lasted. I still have it.
It still works.
I think the batteries, like
the battery might be shot. Yeah,
2 decades old, so it's never had a new battery in it. But that thing, man, I'm jumping that thing. That thing lasted.
Hey, when you get those little things like that, yeah, hold on to them, keep them clean, and keep them working if you can. And another throwback here when I'm gonna hit for mine.
Yeah,
my best thing I saw on social media. I was on TikTok. I was like, I got a little excited when they got. Let me switch the screen here.
Oh, okay. I'm interested.
Here we go.
What are we looking
at? We got here. We got Missy Elliott going through all her outfits in all her videos. You remember how her videos were like really cool looking or weird looking?
Sure.
And she kept all her outfits. And if you go to the TikTok account that this is on, it also shows you behind the scenes because she actually had the original shoes in some of these shots that were still, I say, kind of hanging on, but they start falling apart during the video. So let me hit play here. So if you remember this video, 8, 9, 10. Now you move me, baby. I don't remember this song, but I know the beat. And her and Timbaland was dropping hot tracks. And Missy looked good, by the way. Let's just also say that. She looks awesome.
Those are all the original
outfits. Yes.
No way. That's cool.
Yeah, she put them all in. Obviously, she, like I said, she looks good, lost weight, and still put them on, and some of them still work. I'll show you the shoes. If I'll pause it, let me see the outfit where the shoes, if you go to another behind the scenes clip, it'll show you on the TikTok account where the shoes were actually like falling apart. And I'm gonna pause it. This outfit right here. So these shoes right there.
Yeah.
So if you can see kind of the white part here.
Yeah.
That was her bottom shoe was literally like falling apart.
Did they just wear it so much?
Yeah, and they were old. It was wearing, and they're old. No, it wasn't wear and tear, just being old, and it's that rubber. Because if you keep, I know this because I have tennis shoes from when I was in high school. This is bad of a hoarder that I am here. The rubber starts to turn yellow first, and then it basically disintegrates into a dust.
Oh,
yeah. So what's up, Big Baby Duke? Notorious Afro in the house as well. And so yeah, so that them rubber on them right there, those shoes right here were the ones. If you go to this TikTok account, I'll expand it or close it in a second so you can see the title of the account and go check it out. So, but we gotta watch this again. So yeah, shout out to Missy Elliott, one of my favorite artists. I used to bump her all the time. Her, Timbaland, 50. But she's been around since probably college for me.
Yeah, she's been around a while now.
Time. So here's the account here. Oh, it's actually Missy Elliott's account on Twitch, on TikTok. So go to her account. You can see the behind the scenes video of all her outfits and what she was motivated to do. She talks about that and some of the shoes, some of the outfits, shoes, like I said, falling apart. So I thought that was cool. And then JFK, what do you say? Man, I hate for the shoes because shaking my head, I just wrapped it up in plastic. When that happens, I call it a day. Yeah. When your rubber on your shoe turns yellow, that shoe is pretty much expired. You can't, if you want to wear it at your own risk. I say just walk in it. Don't try to play basketball. Don't try to run a marathon in those shoes, because those shoes will fall apart when the rubber is yellow. We got here Josephina from LinkedIn says her level of creativity is still unmet. Yes, her and Timberland, last year was the 50 years of hip hop anniversary or what have you, and she was, oh my God, like all her videos, all her songs made me want to dance if I wasn't dancing already, because I'm like, she puts out hot hits. Hot hits. All right, we got another. Let's head over to, let's get ready for it. Hold on, let me do this. Let me do that. And then do this. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? Did I do that? Nope, I did not.
Did I do that?
I did not do that.
You sound like that guy on that show.
I ain't doing that. Steve Urkel. I did not do that. This was the best thing on social media, and I didn't run this. Hold up, I gotta do this first. Boom, boom. I didn't do that. So at least people see it. And I do that. There you go. All right, now hit it over. I got so much to do on this thing. All right, next one here. There it is. We're getting that ready, and we're gonna shut that down. We got game releases coming up here.
Game releases.
It's time for the game releases. Game releases.
Oh, I wonder if that dog is barking at the sun or the moon. That's all I want to know.
Or just like an ambulance or something.
That's something. Yeah. All right, John, you're up. Oh, go ahead. Oh, you said your dog.
My dog used to howl every time. You never have that noon whistle in your community? Like the tornado sirens, but they go every day at noon.
Yeah, every Wednesday in Wisconsin, it was every third Wednesday or something like that.
Oh, where I lived, every day at noon and 6, the thing goes, and my dog would always howl. So my video game of the week is once again, Ahman sends out a list. I pick one just based on the name. Ultros is what I picked. Now check this out. Look how kind of like.
I like the graphics already.
Interesting it looks, yeah.
Very interesting. Very creative.
This is from the Ultros website. You wake up stranded after seemingly crashing your ship on the sarcophagus. I can't read that. A giant space-drifting cosmic uterus holding an ancient demonic being known as Ultros. Okay. Trapped in the eternal loop of a black hole, I guess. You will have to explore sarcophagus. How do you say that word? I don't know. And meet its inhabitants to understand the part you play.
Right.
Are you the gruesome breaker of this cycle, or can you become a link from destruction to rebirth? So that's what the websites. Look at this. These are kind of.
Is that a fly? That's a fly. That's dope.
They call it a psychedelic, as you can tell on this.
It's definitely psychedelic. You nailed it with that.
A psychedelic sci-fi journey. So
100% psychedelic.
This is cool. How do you ever see something displayed like this in the video game?
I've seen games like this.
Psychedelic kind of bright colors like we're seeing here.
Yeah, I had a game on my Switch. I have a game on my Switch. Oh, can't think of a name of it, but it's like you fought against different little tribes in the game. And it was like it was a tribal game. I just can't remember the darn name of it, but they had little colors and shapes like this game here, like Ultros. Really cool. I like the graphics. I like this. Like you said, when they said psychedelic, that's like nailing it. Exactly the description of what you're seeing. If you're on a trip, this game will mess you up, or you'll be happy to see this game if you're on a trip.
Maybe
you know what trip I'm talking about.
I was say maybe you ingest some substances and then play the game.
Yeah, you're on that trip. It
says grounded in science fiction as well. Ultros comes wrapped in both an eccentric art style from the visionary El Huervo, renowned for his work on Hotline Miami.
Hotline Miami. That's it. I'm going to have to check that out. Hotline Miami. You fighting a big fly right there. Look at that fly.
Oh, that looks nasty.
Gangster right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's a video game right there.
I like
JFK
this.
says trip to Mushroom Kingdom with Toad. Exactly. That's the trip I'm talking about right there.
Mushroom Kingdom with Toad.
Yeah.
I mean, I see this and I say, Maybe, yeah. Let's check this out. That looks kind of wild. Kind of interesting. Yeah, I like that.
I'm down with that. Good pick, man. Good pick.
Average Historian says I always pick dope games.
Yes, he does.
It's just based on the name.
Yeah, there you go. All right, my turn. My turn. I get the show and tell time. And I went with the oldest, schoolest of the games on there. You got Mario versus that dude right there, Donkey Kong. So check out the latest version of Donkey Kong versus Mario versus Donkey Kong, whoever you want to start with. It's an updated version on the Game Boy Advance, John. It's on the game in chat. Game Boy Advance. When all the mini Marios sell out, Donkey Kong takes matters in his own hands. Track them down when Mario versus Donkey Kong launches this Friday on my birthday. So you got DK right there going to all get the mini Marios that are they all sold out. So he's not happy. So old school game brought into the new category. Oh, they got a Mario factory. I didn't know there were little Mario factories to build little Marios. Oh,
man, they're really setting this up.
Right. They got a nice little storyline, and I love the storyline. So the first one in general sense of the Mario versus Donkey Kong is Tipping Stars was the first game here. And then now the gameplay style of the Game Boy version Donkey Kong has been revisited since the original. So unlike original version pre-rendered visuals and the rest of Mario versus Donkey Kong series opting for a plastic cartoony look with outlines, the remake adopts a standard modern standard modern art style. There you go. Taking many cues from Mario 3D World and also Mario Maker 2, Super Mario Maker 2. There you go. So you got.
So that didn't show me anything about what the game looks like. Why didn't they show us what the game looks like? All I saw was Donkey Kong go in there and steal some stuff. He should be
Well, he loves the toy, obviously. So he's doing it.
Pull it.
He turned off he started watching TV. He's like, look, I'm going down in the factory and get my toy. But the gameplay, similar, like I mentioned, similar to Super Mario Maker 2 and Super Mario 3D World. So if you played those games, which I played both of those games, so you kind of a basic sense of how the board is going to set up. It's going to be your basically tiered level maps that you have to jump up the ladder, like old school Donkey Kong. When I started playing way back in 1983 or 4, where you climb the ladder, roll over, jump over the barrel, get to the barrel, either hammer it or jump over it, stuff like that. So you have and then you have the little Mario toys. That's going to be a part of DK's, I guess now household, because he's jacking them from the Mario factory there. And there's Toad, like JFK said.
Hey.
So this is going to be Mario going to get back his little mini-me's from Donkey Kong.
Then there's the background, right? It kind of shows like how you might be able to hop around.
Yeah, so there you go. All right, we got Donkey Kong jacking little Mario, and little Mario trying to jack him back. That's kind of the plot of that game. All right, let's get on to the last episode, second to last episode in our what's on stream?
Row your boat gently up the sorry. Excuse me. It's time for what's on stream.
All right, we are on episode 5 of Loki. Let's get him on the screen here. His poor little face. This face reminded me of when he got choked out to death by Thanos in Endgame. So I'm like, I've seen this face before on Loki. It's not a good face. This is a death face. This is the death moment. I'm about to die face. So we see this. This is how the episode starts. And from episode 4, we saw the big explosion of the loom happening. And now Loki opens his eyes. Nobody's with him that was there. It's just him running around the TVA. So we got a whole bunch of little questions to get answered here. But as he runs to every room, right, he's time slipping as well, which I know sucks because I think it looks like it hurts. It don't feel good at all. So he's slipping and he's not only doing it, he's only doing it little minutes at a time. So he's going into the future a little bit because he sees himself in that room past there. And then as he comes back to the room, as he types it again, the TVA room starts to basically disappear. And like, what's his name? Dr. Victor, He Who Remains variant got destroyed in the last episode. So I saw that. So he's lost here. And the description of the episode is Loki traverses dying timelines in an attempt to find his friends, but reality is not what it seems. So he's bounced between, I think this right here was 1962, then 2012, 1992. So it's a lot going on. It has to be figured out here, and what happened to all his other variants that was around him in this first part of the episode, John. So
this, when I wrote down my notes, and by the way, it's been so many days and weeks now since I've watched these, because I went through the whole thing. I was like, this series is so fun.
Yeah, it is.
So like, right. So it ends episode 4, like you were saying, and everybody dies. And you're like, what the heck just happened? Episode 5, I write, Loki is alive and starts time slipping.
I love your notes, John. I love your descriptive notes.
They didn't kill him in episode 4. And this is the one sentence I wrote here. This episode was so much fun because I loved how he recruited everybody to help save the day from their different timelines. There was a purpose to this episode. There was a lot of different timelines and different it wasn't always just the same thing. There was time slipping. So there was that element of what makes this fun as well. And I just love this episode. I thought this was probably one of the best episodes of season 2. And I love the 1800s episode. I think that was episode 2 or 3. So like there's some really like fun episodes in this series, and episode 5 to me was one of those. I loved how, like I said, he went around and recruited everybody, and you learned a little bit more. And then at the end, spoiler alert,
close your eyes, change the channel,
fast forward, mute it. And we're gonna start this spoil in 5.
We're warning you. We are warning you. You've been warned.
2, 1. And then at the end, so he's trying to figure out the time slip, and you think everything's, like gonna go to hell at the end, and he figures it out. He figures out how to do it himself, and that's the game changer. And then it goes to, we'll get to next week, and it's a game, and it's just, they need these people writing Masters of the Universe because they know how to write some entertaining television.
Well, that's the whole Marvel crew under Kevin Finch, and I know they're gonna be worth a lot of money, so they better get in, make sure their pocketbook is ready to go and write big checks out, but because that crew is doing it. And so I like this part, like where you see Morbius, you see Hunter, was it Hunter 15 something? Where is it my notes at? Hunter 851, and you see all this OB right there, where they don't, except for OB, none of the other characters recognize who Loki is. So I kind of like that, because now he has to basically explain to them, if he was going to sit and talk to him, like where he came from, why he's there, what's going on, because this is what they were all trying to protect, is all these variants having their lives, right? And that's what she particularly talked about. She said all these timelines are variants trying to live out their lives, and they're dying before it blew up. And so Hunter 815, she's a doctor in 2012, a children's doctor on top of that, living her life unaware, right? We're sitting in a space, because I every now and then, I think everyone on this show, yourself, the chat, you have those conversations with yourself, or you have a moment of this to daydream. You're like, what are people doing in other multiverses or other planets in our solar system? Because we know there's life on other planets. What is the Ahman on Mars doing right now? I'm just saying, I know I have these conversations with myself. I don't know about y'all.
I mean, not only that, Ahman, but what is the life form and where is it in its evolution? You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, is it just like they haven't figured out technology yet, and they're just still living in rocks or whatever, like, right. And then is there the multiverse, like the exact same thing happening right now, where we are having this exact same podcast? If it's infinity, it never ends. There's every single possibility if it's infinity.
True.
Right.
Yeah. And so actually the Bear fan just asked this question. You see that?
Yeah.
If you were in a game, what kind would it be? We're in a game.
Like as a character?
Yeah, I would say any video game I played. So between Gears of War, Halo, I would love to be Master Chief, 100%. I put myself in all that. Movies, I do it all the time. If I were to write a movie, I would write a movie about myself being different characters that I like.
This is
and it's a long list. This is a long, so it'll at least be a 2-hour movie because I've thought about this thoroughly. I just haven't put it to paper yet.
Yeah,
it's easy. For every action, horror, drama, suspense, cartoon movie, I have from all my movies, I have one character that I would be that I love because I like them. They're funny or they're strong, heroic, whatever. Very cool, very quirky, like I am sometimes.
Yeah.
So just to say a few, like I said, Master Chief, even though he has a TV series, he doesn't. Wait, they do have movies for Master Chief, but I always thought about, like, when I saw Die Hard the first time, I was like, I want to be John McClane. Okay. Commando, Arnold Schwarzenegger, or Predator, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Right. I want to kill the Predator. I want to be that dude. I want to be Captain. God, what was his name? I forgot his name for a minute. Not Dylan. Was it Dylan? No, Dylan was with Carl Weathers. God rest his soul. Rest in peace.
Oh yeah,
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers. Yeah,
he passed away.
We saw him at that fan
at
expo.
The fan expo in Chicago. Yeah,
that's the first thing I thought of.
Yep. Trying to think, like Lion King, like cartoon movies. I would want to be Mustafa, of course, or Simba, Black Panther, T'Challa.
That's a tough question.
Yeah, So who? Yeah, but video games. Between video games, like I'll be Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War. That he's the lead commander in Gears of War.
What type of game would you be in?
Oh, what type?
Yeah,
I want to do between a sports game and RPG or fighting game. Something like
that. See, so when this is so tough, I think this is a fun question.
I know we digress from Loki right now.
Sorry, Loki, but that's a fun.
Let's pause Loki since he's been paused before in the TVA, so it's okay.
That's a fun question because my first thought was like old school side-scrolling video game, right? And I was like, no, I mean that's not. And then I thought like a fighting game.
I'm more than two-dimensional and side-scrolling. I'm more than that. I'm 3D, baby. Yeah.
And I thought, well, what about a fighting game? That'd be kind of fun if you could always like have certain characteristics.
Yeah, I would love to either be Dragon Ball Z, like go Super Saiyan on somebody, or Rage Out on Tekken. How they do the Rage art fight or combination. There you go.
That's interesting. I'm not sure what kind of game I'd be in.
You gotta think about it, John.
Well, and then I thought a sports game. Like, imagine if I was just I mean, you're in a game, so what?
There you go.
You're already in a game.
Yeah, since college.
You're in multiple games.
But back to Loki real quick. Great question, the Bear fan. He definitely helped us digress for a minute there. But as he finds the other variants and actually sits and talks to him as he's talking to one of the variants of himself, right there, and then starting to basically get the band back together. That's Sylvie. He's talking at a bar, and so it's just just a nice, I say, interesting episode of really trying to. And you see this this type of episode when you deal with time traveling in the movies or a TV series if it has time traveling in it, where eventually you go to where nobody recognizes you and you got to explain yourself, like who you are when you are. I'm Ahman from 1994, and you got to do that and get them convinced and get everybody on your side to then help you do what you need to do to save what he needs to do to save the TVA. And you see the TVA rooms are just getting ate up by the power of the loom that was trying to obviously keep all the timelines together. So all them timelines are basically taking over the TVA, basically, right there. And he got everybody back together, but don't really know what's going on.
It's a really fun episode, man. If you guys haven't watched Loki season 2 yet,
please do.
What's going to happen is it's going to be done like that because there's only 6 episodes, and you're going to be like, oh, that was fun. You're going to have fun.
And you got to tell yourself, this will be a part of the bigger storyline in phase 5, 6, and 7. That's the cool part. So there you go. So for episode 5, Loki season 2, science fiction or science/fiction. There you go. So check it out. I know. Remember, we gave you spoilers. So sorry there. Sorry, not sorry, because we did warn you. Just letting you know.
Got your warning.
Sorry, not sorry. You got your warning. And we'll be back next episode next week, breaking down episode 6, season finale of Loki. So we got some good stuff to start watching. We got Echo on Disney.
Do we want to say what our next one is? Do we know?
We got to find out. I'm about to mention some now. Echo on Disney.
Okay.
I think that's all I can remember on Disney. It's Echo. Echo just started, and Echo is from the Daredevil timeline or storyline. She's the assassin who is
Echo.
Death. She was in Daredevil. She was in Hawkeye.
Okay. I could maybe get into Marvel's Echo.
Yeah, Echo. She's badass. She's beating everybody up. She's literally.
I was gonna say, what about that Childish Gambino one?
Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Hulu or Prime Video. There you go.
I watched 2 episodes of that, and it's enough to keep. What I love is the way they tell the story. But anyway, I'm not reviewing that.
I like the character change. Because I saw it on the internet one day. Like I'm searching stuff, and it says Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie. But I click it, and it's a TV series, and I'm like, oh, who's going to be this? And I see Donald Glover, and the other actress. I'm like, oh, I said I like the twist. I'm the characters. So I'm super excited about that. So I'm down for that.
Okay,
we got to get our compadre Rico to vote on it.
Think Rico's up yet? He's in Vegas.
Yeah, maybe. So you have. Let me see. I just looked it up real quick. We have Maya Erskine is Jane Smith, and John Smith is Donald Glover. And you have Paul Dano, who played in The Big Short, or not The Big Short, the one with GameStop, something sucks or whatever. When the GameStop debacle thing that we talked about 2 years ago, they made it to a movie now. Parker Posey's in it. Hey, Paul Dano is the hot neighbor. He's the hot neighbor. I would love. Well, my character, remember, I told you I was in Batman vs. Superman chat, and my name was Thug Number 2. So they don't get real creative. And I'm like, hey, that's a cool name. I like it. I'm gonna get it tattooed before
Number 2
before I die. All right, y'all. We are done. Yes, it's time to go to work. Go to our real jobs now and teach class or be a parent, do whatever we should be doing. I vote for Mrs. There you go. Notorious votes for Mrs. or Mrs. Smith, Donald Glover, and Maya Erskine. And that's on, what is that on?
Prime.
That's on Prime Video. I'm down for that. I already pay for that.
I'm already 2 episodes in, so I'm down for
that. And then what, a 30 minute, 45 minute, hour long episode?
Yeah, a little less than an hour. Yeah.
Okay. Like yeah, I'll get into that. That was one of the shows I was going to start watching anyway, so might as well. And we could break it down because they are spies, right? And they're married, and they got rules about being a spy, about being married and being a spy. Because if you got to have rules if you're a spy and married, and then you both find out. Well, they obviously know, but in the movie, remember they found out later that they were working for the same person, or kind of was working for the same person, kind of. Yeah, I saw that. I used to watch that all. I love that movie, so I kind of know.
Oh, well, then you'll love the TV series, maybe.
Exactly.
You got to check this out then.
Yeah, and I like how they made a little change to it. I like the decor has been, the vase was moved to over here instead of over there, and it's a blue vase instead of a yellow vase. I like it.
It's pretty fun.
I like the change up. So check that out. So that's what we're going to do next week. So far, we'll see if Rico. Well, he's going to probably be majority voted now. It's 2-1.
Yeah, he's got to figure it out now.
Yeah, he's got to figure it out. So he's got to hopefully have Prime Video, or he's going to have to share one of our accounts with us to watch it. If he doesn't have it, but
and they're showing me ads on Prime now.
There we go.
I was
they got to put their commercial fix in there. So, and then we'll wrap up episode 6 of Loki season 2. More video games that we'll talk about, and then next week is this or that. So if you have a this or that, I know the Discord link has popped up. We could pop it in there again. So join the Discord so you could throw in your this or that's, or just comment, or just coming into my Discord, because I post everything in there. I have fun stuff in there you could see and you could comment on and talk about with us in the Ahman Green TV Discord. Please do that. And we'll be back next week. Same bat channel, 8 a.m. here. And we're on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch. We're on X and Instagram. So if you are any of those apps, drop a question, follow, subscribe at YouTube, share, retweet, do all that fun stuff that you're supposed to do if you are following our show here. And join in. You're always gonna have a good time. All right. So, John, let everybody know where they can find you after the show is done.
I am an AMC stockholder at John Arias Radio, JONARIAS Radio on the X. Also, Johncast Podcast on Instagram.
I like how you do that. I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start switching up my title because I have different things that I like you. Because I am a is that movie theater AMC?
Yeah, I bought it back when I got in way late. I got it like the highest price, and then like now it's worth nothing. So
I know I'm an Apple stockholder. I got some stock there.
My Meta has gone up. I bought Meta as soon as I saw Zuckerberg have like those photorealistic avatars in the Meta.
Yeah, I remember that.
Crazy. Yep. I'm buying Meta, and that thing's been skyrocketing.
Good. Smart move, buddy. Smart move. All right. So we'll be back next week. You can find me on Instagram and X at Ahman Green 30, all one word. Also Ahman Green TV and Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge on TikTok. Please check that out. And then I'll give a shout out for Rico there, Enrique Alvarez Clary, and Nikki_Flash. He also is on Twitch. He hasn't streamed in a while, but he's on Twitch. I haven't streamed in a while. Well, I have, but I haven't played video games on my stream. I've done the podcast. But I will. Well, I got my schedule is kind of filling out where I could get some days in during the week and maybe one day on the weekend. So maybe 3 days a week I'll be able to stream. That's 2 during the week and 1 on the weekend. So watch out for that. If you're in the Discord, you'll find that out. If not, on Instagram or X, you'll see the post of me going live playing Madden, Halo, Call of Duty, or Toaster Ball. Fun game. Rico covered a few months ago. Very fun game. And that's it. So everybody have a great rest of your Wednesday, hump day. It's the tough day for a lot of people in midweek because you got 2 more days to go to get to Friday or get to the Saturday. Get to Saturday. But hope you survive. I know I will too. I'm still getting off the 2 weeks of travel. It's been hitting me. When I get about 10 o'clock, John, my whole body starts shutting down. You go to bed. I'm like, I passed out the last 2 nights. Don't even remember falling asleep. I wake up. It's like, you know how you see that scene in the movie where somebody falls asleep and then they wake up like, that's how I've been waking up. Like, where am I? I don't know where I'm like, oh, I'm at home. I'm tired. I was super tired. So that's how tired I am, been. So I'm getting my sleep. And I will hope everybody else gets to sleep for the rest of the week. And we'll see y'all next week. All right. So let me do this.
I don't know what this is. I'm gonna do peace, and I did 3. I don't know what I'm doing. See ya.
All right. So let me do this first. We got music. Let's get some music going. Let me go back. Do this. This. All right, everyone. We got the big screen coming on. That's gonna say stream ended.
Yeah.